folks. This week we're going to take a look at promiscuity. Now, for those unfamiliar with the word, it means a person who he or she just about fucks anything. But in more polite terms, it means a person with a high degree of sexual activity, almost a dangerous level of sexuality where you set no limits as to who you'll exchange juices with, if I may, and which many people are either celebrating or condemning. But let's make no mistake here, over the last 15, even 20 years, especially with the rise of internet porn, we have seen an increase in promiscuous activity. So in preparing for this show, which was, again, prompted by a rather urgent and heartfelt email, I decided to go online. Yes, I went straight into the belly of the beast himself, and I did a little research, Mia. And if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about a study I found, which was quite telling. This was a study of female mice, and it was split in two groups. One group were separated from their fathers at birth and were abused and neglected. The other group saw mice living with their biological fathers and who were loved and cared for. And what they found was that in the mice who were abused and didn't have their fathers around them, they were promiscuous to the point that even after having sex with a male, the moment it was over and if another male appeared, they would have sex with him too. And on and on. And actually, whoever showed up, she would have sex with. Didn't matter how many male mice, whatever number it was, keep on coming. But in the group who had contact with their fathers and were treated well, they would pick one male to mate with, and then once they had mated, they would reject all the others. And I found that fascinating, dear, because it suggests that how we are raised creates the conditions for how we express ourselves sexually, especially for women coming from broken homes. It seems it's critical they have their fathers in their lives, because if they don't, well, hell, they'll screw anything that comes around. And I'm raising this because our behavior and biology and that of mice are very similar. So if this study holds true, we have actual proof of the necessity of good parenting by two loving parents. Or else you turn into a slut looking for a father in every guy you meet. What, any thoughts on this, Mia?
I kind of, at one point, yeah, of course, who doesn't want to have the perfect family with two parents and a father guiding you? But what's the likelihood of that happening? And sometimes you do have a father, but he's never there present for you. And he's never say a word to you. He's just a figure, but he's not existence into your life. I think a lot has to do with the individual. Of course, if the kids are thrown and suddenly every man that comes around, or uncle, and then you are hugging your uncle and hugging the neighbor because you don't have a father. And who doesn't want to be touched by a man, when you're a little girl, sit on your father's lap and have him read you a book. Those are all desires that are common for a girl to have. But I don't believe, I think a lot depends of the mother that the girl has too. If the mother is showing good example inside the house, if the mother is not bringing every different man that she meets to have sex with her kid, to have sex with her while the kids are around, and even though the kids might don't think the mother's having sex, they kind of have a sense there's something going on. So I think has a lot to do with who the mother is. Of course, if the mother every day is bringing a different man and, showing, oh, it's okay for me to have this guy and then tomorrow I have another guy, then the girl's kind of having this example inside the house, and the girl's going to say, why can't I try as many guys as I want?
Sure.
My mother is doing it. What, she's going to be a hypocrite now and tell me you should only have one man and should be a virgin and you should wait for the perfect one when the mother's setting that example inside the house? But
Yeah, interesting.
But if you have a mother that she can be, because some women are excellent and they do a great job by themselves. In fact, or sometimes the girl doesn't have a father, but once in a while, like we had our nieces visiting us, and you were kind of the father example.
I am the father.
And what they had was great. Was the only father they ever knew. Well, even if it's only for 2 months, you kind of have the male figure. The man is respecting and talking to the girls. The girls learn. They go back home. They do fine. And a lot has to be with who you are in your essence. And sometimes you hear about families that are perfect and the girls become perverted and decide to be a porn star.